the summons and complaint could come in different uh, forms or fashion depending on the jurisdiction that you're in. And this is actually what makes it very confusing for people. Some people, they're like, they read the cover sheet and they're like, okay, that's the summons. And then they don't know that they need to look for that specific complaint. But also, it could be named, they could call it something different according to your state. So, what I have here in the state of Georgia, they will call it a statement of claim. And you will know that this is considered the complaint that's against you because it will have that you live in that preside in that jurisdiction. It will have the amount in the company or the debt buyer's name that it was assigned to them, that they're suing you, and the amount. They'll say that they have certain attachments that are included, and then they'll state the amount that they're suing you for. And it'll always have in there the plaintiff, and it'll have the defendant also listed on there. And then you'll know that it is, if it's one sheet or two sheets or three, they will always label one of two or one of three or one of four, or however many it is, and it'll always end with the attorney's info on there. Here's another one for state of Virginia. They got warrant in debt, claim for money. Simple sheet. These are ones where you'll see where the attorney, for this type here, this is where the attorney just went in and they utilized the forms that are available for their area. You'll see that where they'll just fill it out, check some boxes, type in some information, and then send it to the person. But this one here is warrant in debt, and this is in Virginia. Does not always look this way. Here's another one here in the state of New Mexico. This is probably the format that most law firms will use. If they have the staff to do the work for them, they'll submit it and put it together like this. It'll have the numbers like 1, 2, 3. It'll always have the state and the county judicial district court, or the court information will be at the top or off to the side. It'll always have the plaintiff, and it'll always have the defendant, and then it'll have a case number. Sometimes the case numbers could be up in here. It won't be right there where it would normally say case. And then they'll also it may say something different, but on this one it says complaint for debt and money due. And then again, it'll always end with the attorneys. It'll say whereas, and then it'll have the attorney's info there. That's how you know that you've got to the last page if it has that type of format. Here's one here with one of the California type formats where they just got the form from the court and they checked some boxes, typed in some information, pertaining to the debtor that they're suing, and they put the case number on there, and it has these boxes and everything to check. Don't worry, if you use Summons Master, it knows how to scan through these also, but it could look like this. Now, let me show you the other California one. It could look like this with the numbers down the side, and then again the numbers in there for each allegation. It's going to have the information to the top left, the attorney's information, and then it'll have the case information. It'll have the plaintiff, the defendant, and then it has to have you can't really see it on this one. You see those little lines there, right there, and then up. It has these little lines. That actually has to be in there either with the hooks, I don't know what they call it, the brackets, on there with the line. This is like they require this in California, Nevada, Arizona, and Washington. It's like a format that they do require with the responses, and we do take care of that. If we're making an update to Summons Master to have that in there, but when we always look in to see if the person uploaded all of the documents and review it, and whenever we see responses from California, Nevada, Arizona, and Washington, we'll immediately pull those down and send an update to that the person who got that response with the format. And then pretty soon, though, we're working on it right now, it will have those formats in there. And again, this is California and this is California, so you can see two different things, and it can confuse people. It can confuse people. And it'll have the numbers, here, and it also has the numbers down the side there. That's the other thing. And then it will end. This one was an extensive one. In California, they will use terms like they're going to notify breach of contract. They're going to have the grounds of the allegations, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and then they're going to pray for the relief, and it's going to always end with the attorney's information down there on the bottom. Here's one here. We got this one from the state of Texas. Looks like this one that they just filled out. This is the one that the courts will provide legal documents for debt collectors to be able to fill them out and then do their lawsuits. But they also could look that other way, but this is like a short form that they're able to just go in there, and it details the parties of the lawsuit, the amount that's being claimed for the debt amount, and is this an assignment? That means, was it purchased by a debt collector, ongoing interest, attorney's fees, and the style of case. It'll have that information. But again, Summons Master reviews all of that. It doesn't matter how they say it. It's going to look for certain information for the lawsuit. Here's another one from Florida. You can see Florida uses the traditional, they have ones available in Florida too, but this is more of a traditional one where the lawyer's office actually put this one together. Has the numbers. It's going to have the court information at the top. It's going to have the plaintiff. It's going to have the complaint. This one here, complaint for damages, and it's going to talk about the type of account and how much. This is actually a very short one. Some of the times they'll have 1, 2, or 3 pages with those. So I want to make this video to let you know what type of documents to look for. And it doesn't matter what type of documents they send you, as long as you have the right ones with the complaint, statement of claim. You can upload those into Summons Master and be able to get your debt lawsuit response created in a matter of minutes. And then we always review those. Now, why it's so important for you to take action if you are thinking about taking action on your debt collector lawsuit is because if you don't take action, you're going to end up with a default judgment. It's very hard. If you were served, then you're going to just get a judgment. If you were not served and you didn't know about it and you got a default judgment, that's a different thing. But if you know that you're being sued, they're going to consider that you were informed, and it's going to be very hard. It's going to be a uphill battle. If you respond the right way, you had opportunity to, number one, win your case without having to say anything because it's all written up for you. Number two, it delay the case. And number three, it's gonna, give you an opportunity to where they may reach out for you to settle. And then number four, it's gonna guaranteed avoid you getting a default judgment, because you don't want to get the judgment by default, because that's gonna just hurt you, and it's gonna make it an uphill battle. So if you need help responding to your debt collector lawsuit, go to summonsmaster.com, where you can upload your documents and get a fully formatted response and to every allegation against you, and a defense to give you the best opportunity to win and get your case dismissed. If you have any questions or comments, post them below this video, or you can reach out to us on summinsmaster.com. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of thecreditrepairshop.com and summinsmaster.com. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments. Thank you.